Okay, this is warm up 10, 11. Write all this work on the handouts I gave you and then copy the other blank ones or copy the other ones. Write down the 5 words. Know that these are very final exam for the quarter specific, that 13 problem test. So here we go. Based on just looking at graphs here, they're going to have you tell me if it's linear, exponential, and then the next category, continuous, discrete. So linear means straight line, exponential means that curved line, whether it be going up like that or going down. Anything curved, exponential. Anything straight is linear. Continuous means any graph data has a line drawn through it. Discrete data means your data has holes in it, has dots, whether it be linear dots, a linear pattern, or a exponential pattern can be exponential dots too. Discrete. First word is dog, dog. So looking at this, category at a time. This first one here is a straight line, makes that linear. Next category, dots or no dots. There's no dots. Continuous. Know this. All right, next data. Looking at that. The dots are this curved shape. That's not linear. This is exponential. And then next category, dots or a line drawn through the dots. These are dots. This would be discrete data. Going left to right. This would be exponential. It's curved. It's not straight linear. And then, of course, a line drawn through the data, continuous. Looking at this data, linear, like a straight line. And then, of course, dots make this discrete data. Got to know these terms. Next one down. This is linear, straight line data. Dots make this discrete data, not a line drawn through them, discrete. This would be linear, straight line through the data. And of course, being a line drawn through the data, continuous. This is exponential. And then of course, a line, sorry about spelling. This is discrete dot. So again, both categories, straight line linear, curved line exponential. Next category, line drawn through the dots, continuous, just dots, discrete. Second word is whale, whale. All right, here we go. Next one is linear. And then, of course, this is continuous. All right, next problem you have to know these kinds. If I go up by 6's here, and then again, fill in these numbers if you could. If I go up by 4, looks like I'm going up by 4 here, and then looks like I go up by another 4 because those 4's are the same. That makes number 1 situation linear. If that was going up by a different amount there, like going up by 4 and then maybe going up by 5, that would be neither. But those are going up by the same amount, linear. All right, next one. Any of these, if you do not have a percent, that's going to be linear. And again, look for problems that don't have a percent. Those are linear. Anything with a percent, though, exponential. So again, you got some easier ones there too. Number 2, no percent there, just an inch per week, adding that same inch every single week, adding that same inch, just like adding 4 every time, makes this linear. 3%, that means you're timesing by that 1.03 increase, 1.03 increase. Remember, that makes this exponential, that percent right there. And then the next one, where you have to actually do some unit rate math, and see if they have the same unit rate. $16 divided by 2 hours gives me a unit rate of $8 for every 1 hour. Next part of the graph, if I did $30 divided by 3 gives me $10 for every 1 hour. Because that are different, that would mean my line would be going up by $8 an hour and then steeper going up by $10 an hour. That's not a straight line. That's not linear. This would be a neither situation. And then the last one, 400, no percent there. That's decreasing, minus 400 every year, minus 400, minus 400 every year, no percent there. That makes this linear, if I could write right there. All right, keep rolling. Have to know those two problems. These 2 pages for the final. Have to know those. All right, keep rolling. This type, new, kind of new, but have to know these. Here we go. Writing the zero term explicit. So again, these problems you got to really focus on. Zero term, the zero term explicit. So here we go. The 6, this really is the first one they're going to give you. It's not the zero term. They're going to assume that that first number is the first number, not the zero term. So 6 is the first term. 2, 18, 3, 54. So you need to see on these are geometric. Timesing by 3. Timesing by 3. That is my R number. Dividing by 3. And what number am I dividing by 3? I'm dividing this number right here. 6 divided by 3 gives me 2. That's the all-important zero term for this. So for this, the explicit using the zero term would be f of x equals that 2 that I got over here. Sorry about that. But that 2 right here times that R number raised to the x power, if I could do that in red. And then just know, if they had the different letters, like maybe N, don't be faked out. It's still the same math, but I'm using the variable N to show where I'm plugging in a number. So don't be faked out if they use different letters than X's. So that's the zero term explicit. Next word is dolphin. Dolphin. All right, for this is timesing by 2. And again, when they just slap some numbers down, that's not the zero term. Nope. That 8 is the first term. Any list of sequences, they're assuming you know that first number is the first term, not the zero term. You could, of course, always go backwards, reversing that pattern, dividing by 2. And remember, we really like to show it timesing by 1/2. Dividing by 2 is the same as timesing by 1/2. And I'm taking this 8, timesing it by 1/2, or dividing it by 2, gives me 4. So for this one, it's going to be f of x equals that 4 times 2 to the x power. And of course, if I use different letters, even something weird like this, a of n equals 4 times 2. And then, of course, the n is where you would be plugging in the number. Don't be faked out. If they throw things at you with different letters, be strong. It's the same as good old-fashioned f of x, which we use the most. All right, almost done. Next word is octopus. Last 2, very final specific. For these 2, this geometric pattern, take these 2 numbers, the second one, and type that in your calculator and divide it by the first one. Do it in that order. It is very specific. So if I divide 416.16 divided by 408, calculator spits out 1.02. That's the number that I'm timesing each time. That's the number that I'm using to backtrack to the 0 term. I'm going to divide by 0 or 1.02. So let's write that. Going up this column, dividing by 1.02. And again, what number am I dividing by 1.02? I'm dividing this number right here in my calculator by 1.02, which gives me 400. Nice, neat number. So for this, writing the first term and the 0 term explicit, either one, will give me f of x equals that 0 term times 1.02 to the x power. Don't forget to put that x way up high up there. Or you could use the first term one, 408 times that same 1.02, but instead to the x minus 1 power. And then just know they're not going to have you plug in a bigger number. That was just me having you practice. All right, next word is octopus. Octopus. This one right here, again, the sequence one, having you count. First one is 1. They're not going to have you think that's 0. First one is 1. Anything listed is 1. So that has 3 circles going to 7. And the way I should have done it, up to 11 means it's going up by 4, going up by 4, going up by 4, which means all of my answers, the way I could write this, recursive plus that 4 right there, that key 4. I could write 0 term explicit with that key 4 right there, of course. That's the key to this, looking for that 4 plus that 0 term, which for this one, if I backtrack there, sorry about that, going back to the 0 term, looks like I'm taking 3 minus that 4 gives me -1. So it looks like right there, my first term explicit, or my 0 term explicit, is 4x minus 1. And then the first term one with that 4 right here plus that 3. And then for those of you who are paying attention to me, the way this problem is going to be structured is they're going to give you 4 choices like this, and I would write this down if I was you, and they're going to try to fake you out into picking one that does not represent this. They're going to take that first term one and they're going to jack it up and flip it around like this, and then they're going to have the bad choice, the one that has a different number in front of x. That's the key to this. It's going to be the only one with a different number in front of x plus another number corresponding to one of the other parts. And again, you're seeing which one is the bad choice. And for this, the only one that doesn't represent this pattern would be this guy right here. That's the only one that doesn't have that key 4, adding 4 in the key spot. Even though this one is jacked up and flipped around, they're going to fake out some people. All right, last word is hyena. Hyena. Good job studying. I will collect this for points, I promise. Talk to you in a bit.